Yo, what's up? I'm going to show you a little tip about recombination and how to make a pretty good spear. Obviously, the Huntress is one of the most popular builds right now, and Lightning Spear and other spear skills, like I'm not playing Lightning Spear, I'm playing Rake. Other physical spear builds are really popular, so naturally there is a big market for physical damage spears that also have a lot of accuracy. To give you an example here, accuracy is good, by the way, in case you're not aware, because of the Amazon Ascendancy, which gives you a bunch of damage or something. I don't know, I'm not playing that, I'm playing a Ritualist. But anyways, flat accuracy is really good on your spear, and combining that with as much Fizz DPS as possible is going to end up being a very valuable item. So this is a very simple search I have set up here just to give you an example. We have 300 Fizz DPS minimum, 450 accuracy on a spear, and you can see that these are going to be pretty valuable. 2 div plus, and you could potentially, if you get lucky with your rolls, you could potentially get a very, very valuable one. The way that you can ensure the best odds at getting a high DPS spear is by using stalking spears or grand spears. Now, of course, you can be a little bit more lenient with this if you would like, but the reason why I'm picking only these two is because they have the two highest Fizz DPS baseline in the game. Striking Spear could be decent, because this is a different one. It has lightning damage, and the Fizz is converted to lightning on the Striking Spear. So that could be decent, maybe, I don't really know. I'm just focusing on getting Fizz damage as much as possible. The plan is to get one spear that has a high accuracy roll, the other spear that has a high percent Fizz roll, because I have found in my testing that the tier, if you take a look at this, right? So this is the percent Fizz, but the weighting of these very rare mods are going to be very low, which means it'll be difficult. The percent will change for the success rate on the Recombinator. So I like to use something around 120 to 140, something within the tier 4 and tier 3. This is backwards, of course, so I don't know what it actually is in game. Anyways, this is going to give you a percent chance of success that is not that bad. It'll be somewhere between 10 to 15% per chance per recombination. Okay. Now, if you compare that to the flat rolls, if you get a similar percent chance of success with the flat damage, it will not equal the same number physical damage per second on the weapon, with respect to the chance that it takes to succeed, if that makes any sense. Basically, if you're using flat Fizz versus using percent Fizz, the chance to succeed is going to be easier with the percent Fizz. And if you do succeed, you will end up having more DPS on the weapon if you use the percent, okay? That's how that works. So let's take a look at the trade and see what's really important, okay? Item level 81 minimum. The reason why I'm doing that is because I would like to allow myself the possibility of slamming a high tier lightning damage or hybrid Fizz accuracy, okay? If I end up getting a item level 79 or item level 80, it's going to just simply remove the possibility of some of the best modifiers. Even though it's incredibly unlikely, I still would like to have the chance to slam a very, very nice third modifiers, because that's the plan that we're going for here. I was doing a little bit of attempts for a 3 mod recombination. I was trying to get like a decent roll of the percent combined with a decent roll of the accuracy and a decent roll of hybrid. Okay, I found that to be anywhere between 4 to 7% chance of success, and I did not hit a single one. I think I probably wasted about 5 divines total so far, which is pretty demoralizing. I did something like 40 recombinations in a row, and they all failed, going for 4 to 7% chance, which feels very unlikely, and I think it is. I think I'm at least 2 to 2.5 times over the average success rate, so I did get very unlucky there. And I have pivoted the strategy because that was really hard to deal with, and it made me want to fucking uninstall the game. And now I'm just going for a 2-mod finished product. Then the strategy would be to just use an Exalted Orb and hope to slam a decent 3rd mod. The reason why this is a pretty good idea, in my opinion, it makes it a lot more likely to succeed. And I've done that a few times, so it feels like that for whatever reason, 4 to 7% is impossible, but 10 to 15% pretty pretty common, you know. It's not really like the numbers are not really that different, but I swear to God, I am super fucking dry on the 4 to 7%, and I'm so done with it. The thing about it is with the 10 to 15% for combinations, we can end up making a weapon that is actually pretty decent even if we don't get any other good Exalt slams. So to give you an example, I've already purchased this one right here. This is a 140% increased fizz damage modifier, tier 6 fizz damage modifier, and just because of that, there's nothing else on this thing that's doing any DPS here, but just because of that modifier, we have a 281 physical damage roll, which means if I slam this into accuracy and it succeeds, then I will have a pretty decent fizz weapon with a bunch of accuracy, and then all I need to do is hit literally any tier of either the hybrid fizz or the flat fizz or the flat lightning damage, and it will be a very good weapon at that point. So we actually have 3 different prefixes that we can slam and be happy with. Flat fizz, flat lightning, and hybrid fizz, okay? So the chance of getting cold damage or fire damage or elemental damage is honestly about a 50-50, because there's really not much else you can even pick from on the prefixes. So, but basically the end result is going to be either a spear that looks something like this. Well, I'll just do it here. So if we end up getting a lightning damage flat roll, then it's going to look something like this. So this is like a pretty moderate tier of the lightning damage, and that's also good because lightning spear is very popular, so flat lightning damage is also good. This is what people are looking for on their weapons. Decent fizz with lightning damage, with accuracy. This is a very good in-game weapon that somebody will happily pay 4 plus divines for. So that is the end-game goal. So there's another thing you need to know, and that is just simply how to do this, which is the recombination is in your hideout by default, and it costs broken circle artifacts. So I would suggest you buy these. You can farm them if you really want to, but it depends on which. It depends on if you actually get Gwenin in your maps. So that can be annoying if you don't. But I've been buying these at 9 to 1, which is a pretty good rate. Depending on the ratio at the moment, if you want to be a bit of a penny pincher, you can actually also purchase sun artifacts. The ratio for this one is really bad right now, but if you're able to get sun artifacts for like 4.5 to 5 to 1 exalt, then you can just come over to Danig and you can purchase the broken circles for the sun artifacts. And the reason why that's worth it is because you get 2 per sun artifact. So if you buy them for 5, or if you buy 5 for 1 exalt, you actually can, it's actually like you're buying 10 broken circles for 1 exalt. The recombination itself takes 25 on average. I think the price goes up and down a little bit, but it's 25 on average, which means the total price of the recombination, just for recombinating in general, is about 3 to 4 exalts, and then obviously you have to buy the recombination items. So I would suggest that you take a look at the Better Trading Chrome extension, because you can save a bunch of searches. It's really nice. So let's take a look at some of our trades. You can see I have Grand Spear, percent fizz, Stalking Spear, percent fizz, Grand Spear accuracy, Stalking Spear accuracy. And I already have purchased the percent fizz Stalking Spear, so now I will buy an accuracy Grand Spear, okay? So this is looking for 400 minimum, item level 81 with a max price of 3 exalts. And here's a pretty good option right here, posted 6 minutes ago. 433. You have to make sure that when you're looking at this number, it's not a number that is being combined from multiple modifiers. You want to make sure it's only a single modifier. And the name of the modifier is typically going to be Rangers. Rangers is the name of the tier 8 flat accuracy, which gives you the roll that includes the 400 to 450. So that is what you're looking for, is the Ranger's accuracy, okay? It's also tier 8, which means it's not the highest tier. And if it was, it would make the chance of success a lot lower, but obviously you would end up with 500 plus accuracy. So if you really want to go for that, then you totally can. So this guy is giving me his spear for 1x. Make sure it's the right one. 448 accuracy with a single mod, and there we go. It's also a grand spear, so now if we pop these both in and take a look at the chance of success here, this is an 11% chance of success. And let's see what happens. If it does work, I'm hoping obviously to keep the grand spear. And there we go. First try. Now we have a grand spear that is 282 Fizz DPS. We have to put quality on it, obviously, but 282 Fizz DPS, which is not horrible, pretty decent, and it has 448 accuracy. So the next step is to use Exalted Orbs. Now, you can save a little bit of money by using Omens. Let's see if I have any. I don't. You can save a little bit of money if you want to buy some Omens. There's two options. You can buy the one that gives you a prefix, because you're going to have to get at least one prefix to finish the process, and if you slam, like, you know, if you slam, like, a horrible tier of cold damage, you might just want to stop right there, you know what I mean? But I prefer the Exaltation Omen, which gives you 2 Exalt slams per Exalt you use. So you can buy a little bit of these for a slightly better rate than 1-to-1, which will end up saving a little bit of money. There we go. Let's take a look and see if... Oh, there we go. So let's take a look and see if we get lucky with our Exalt slams. Well... not horrible, but we did only get 2 suffixes. So we didn't get a prefix yet, but we can finish it off with one more of these. The +1 is actually not bad, and the 6% increased attack speed is obviously a very low mod, a very low tier, but it's at least better than Leech or Stun Threshold and, you know, all those shitty ones. So this is so far looking pretty decent. I'm just going to hope to get some decent prefix and call it a day. This is also going to give another suffix here. Okay, so we got fire damage. Not very good, but it is a decent tier. It's a tier 6. So, I mean, I wonder if that's actually okay. Possibly. It's possibly not horrible. It will add some damage to really any build, unless you're converting to, you know, unless you're converting your Fizz to everything, or I don't know. But I mean, even if you include the +1, this might actually be okay. I mean, it's hard to know for sure. This is a bit of a weird result, but it's, you know, it also got Dex, which is actually really sick. That's a pretty good Dex roll right there. Way better than Leech. Way better than Stun Threshold. You know, there's a lot easier ways to solve those problems without getting it on your weapon. So I would say this is a pretty good success, actually. So I'm going to make it look nice. Before I list it for sale, I'm going to make it look better by getting some whetstones. Okay. And we're going to add an iron rune. Boom. So now we have a 325 Fizz DPS with this, you know, slightly better attacks per second roll, and I'm only going to look for the accuracy as well, and that looks pretty good. 2 minimum, 4-ish. So this looks pretty nice. Throw in the +1, and now we're looking kind of insane, kind of wild. With Dex as well, let's look for only Dex, not the +1. So yeah, this is a nice weapon. This is definitely going to be used by somebody who's willing to pay anywhere between like 3 to maybe 5+ divines. But like I said, it is a bit of a niche. The fact that it got fire damage is a bit of a modifier. It's not great. I will list it for 5 divines. I think that's a pretty fair price for what I was looking at on the market there. Alright, so this should be a more favorable chance of success. take a look at it. Yeah, so 15%. More favorable. Let's see if it works. Can we get 2 in a row? Unlucky. Okay, so this will probably be a 10%. 11.6. Alright, fair enough. See if it works. Unlucky. Go again. Wow, he's got a Patrick Star hideout. That's actually sick. This is the first time I've seen somebody with a art hideout that is not cringe. Okay. Our next attempt here is a 15.23% chance of success. Let's see what happens. Hey, hey, and it's the Grand Spear too. Very nice. Alright, so just right out of the gate, this is a 263. Let's use another one of these and see if we can get ourselves a good prefix. Oh, wow, okay. Well, we did not get a prefix, but we got a better tier 3 attack speed, which is nice. And we got +1 of melee skills, which is really nice. That is sick. Let's try this again. And hope to get a decent prefix. Oh my god. Oh my god. That is what you like to see. Holy shit. Oh my god, this thing is huge. A tier 6 flat fizz. Wow, with 29 dex. Oh my god. This is the best thing I've made so far, by a fucking mile. Jesus Christ. This is so good. What the hell? This is insane. 430 physical DPS. Let's just search for 420 because of the funny sex number. 1.66 attacks per second with at least 420 accuracy because of the funny sex number, of course. Oh my god, this is going to be insane. Wow! Yeah, we hit it big on this one. Jesus fucking Christ. And that's not even including the +1 and the dex. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm not doing any more trades, my friend. I am finished. I am good for quite some time. Good lord. This is a fucking beast of a weapon. Let's take a look at the so these guys have really high fizz DPS here. So it might not be worth that much, okay? All the ones that I'm looking at on the search have 460 minimum, so this might not be upwards of 10 plus, but the fact that it's a +1, I mean, come on, what are you saying here? Like 10, 15, 18 offline with the +1. These are +2s, +1. Wow, that's super fucking good. Okay, so that is just to give you an example of the possibility that exists, or with recombination plus exalting. I think this is better overall than trying to do a lower % chance of a recombination. And yeah, I hope this helps you understand how to approach crafting in the 0.20 patch of PoE 2. Thank you for watching. I'm going to list this item and then hopefully sell it for some really strong profit.